a lot, especially over the last year. I had several, quite a few dreams with him. Always like very, very mystical and very, very beautiful dreams. Okay, we're recording now. Thanks for the heads up. But anyhow, for him, we know that he's continuing on very gloriously with his holy service to Guru and Gauranga. His attachment to service is just unparalleled. Nothing can deter him from that. I was mentioning this morning that our Gurudev, he gave the example of in India, there are these soldier ants. There are these big red ants that are very, very painful if they bite you. But one characteristic they have is that if they do latch on to you, then they'll never let go. Even if they die in the process of you pulling them away, then they'll do that rather than let go. So his attachment to service life, his attachment to Krishna consciousness, to kirtan, to our Gurudev, it's like that. Like he has this incredible, incomparable attachment to service life. And he embodied that kind of spirit. Somebody was more than anyone else I know. Somebody was mentioning this morning, one of our kind of uncle gurus, Bhakti Saranga Goswami, there was one expression of his, our Gurudev liked very much, that he said, "I want to die in harness," meaning like on the battlefield, like I don't want to die peacefully, in a nice situation, but I want to die on the battlefield in harness, and Acharya Maharaj, he also embodied that kind of spirit. Actually, not everybody knows, but Acharya Maharaj's health has been quite poor for a number of years, but he would never show that, and he always would push himself. I lost count of how many temples he built in India in the last few years. He was always building one temple or another and preaching in one place or another place. He was always juggling so many things. Even though actually, if he was considering his health, it wasn't possible. It wasn't appropriate. It wasn't good for him. But he really overlooked all of that. He ignored all of that, and couldn't stop himself from continuing. So yeah, and now what I was starting to say before is he's totally he's just continuing on with his holy service to Guru and Gauranga. But our concern is that there are many devotees in our mission who all of their strength came from him. And so, our prayer is that devotees won't lose their inspiration and will be able to pick up and continue as he would wish. That's the key point. As he would desire. As our Gurudev mentioned about Srila Sridhar Maharaj when he left. Now that he's gone, it doesn't mean that he doesn't care about his mission anymore, his temple, his deities, his devotees. He still cares although he's not physically here, he still cares very deeply about all of these things. So we should not give up. So our prayers and support is there for those devotees who particularly had a deep attachment and particularly were following him as their chosen guru. Our special prayers and support is with them at this time, and praying they will have the strength to carry on and continue to feel that connection with him in a spiritual sense. Okay, well, I think I'll stop there. Braja Mohini Didi, you please say something. We didn't get to hear from you earlier. at the meeting this morning.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me right now? Can you hear me?
Raja Mohini Didi, are you there?
Yeah, my microphone is on.
Hello?
I hear
Maybe
you,
she
Braj
stepped
Mohini.
away. Sure.
Can hear you.
Okay.
I'm not
Her
sure.
microphone is, oh, I can't hear you.
I can.
Oh, is it me? Is it only me who can? Oh, man. Everyone
Turn up
else
your-
can hear. Oh.
Maybe it's the
Okay, well,
volume.
never. I just installed some updates and maybe something went wrong. Okay, well, Braj Mohini, you please speak and maybe just send me a message when you're finished. Okay, so you're gonna check out. Okay.
I mean, I'm here. I have it on.
Okay,
It's
no
currently the samadhi is
does
happening.
anyone else here want to say anything? Maybe Seamus
no,
and
no,
Vijay or
So weird.
Vishakha Didi, we never met him. However, two of the devotees here in Limerick, they received a diksha. They were initiated by Maharaj. Yes, so that's my only I suppose understanding or my only.
Bluetooth and something. You can try it.
VJ, have you anything? No. So yeah.
I'm curious. I want her to answer the question that you asked. You're like a rock solid.
yeah, I'm sorry, I can't hear anything. I'm joining through my phone now.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Vishakha, can you hear me now? Vishakha, can you hear me?
We've never had this type of text.
So I think everyone can hear everyone else, and the only person who can't hear is Vishakha. Can people hear me right now? Anyone?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, we can all hear each other. It's just Vishakha's computer, something's going. So she's the only one that can't hear, but she's getting on the phone. So she'll be able to hear us soon.
Okay, I'm hearing now.
You can hear now, Vishakha?
I can hear now. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. I'm not sure if it was on my side or what, but they're currently putting Srila Acharya Dev in samadhi as we speak. Srila Avadut Maharaj is there with the devotees and Sudevi and other devotees. You can probably hear the kirtan going on.
I mean, I think for those who would like to watch, then maybe you should just go to watch.
I'm the host here, so I'm just gonna mute and I'll be here, you know, for however you need me, so I can just, I'll turn the microphone off.
Okay. All right. Okay. So Seamus and Vijay, I'm sorry I didn't hear before. Did you already say something, or did you want to say?
Look, so Vishakha Didi, I was just saying no. I suppose our only association would be through Gopeshwar Prabhu, where he would have, you know, had the highest respects for him and would have had a long association with him himself. And then two devotees here from Limerick would have been initiated by Maharaj. I don't know, like a number of years ago, Ananda Prabhu, Ananda Krishna, and Bhavisha, yeah, Bhadadev, yeah. So, Bhadabhadra, he was, so two devotees from Limerick, yes, and they would have visited him. They would have gone to India and visited in Vrindavan as well. So that's as much as we know. But Gopeshwar Prabhu would have liked, would have had very, very high regard, respect on a basis for him. So, yeah. So we were just speaking to Gopeshwar Prabhu today, so it's a huge loss. We're speaking to him today, so huge shock and huge loss. And
Yes.
but
Okay.
we never had the fortune to meet him ourselves, but
Last year we were in India. That time we just came that day, and he was coming to temple that day. So we just missed him.
We'd missed him. We had just left, and he was coming that evening. Which is but we, that was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We also have Suvasini Didi here. Didi, would you like to share anything?
Yes, yeah, I can say a couple of words. Yes, yes, it was a bit of a shock and very sad. We lost him, and it is never expected this. He will leave us so soon. But anyway, it's but what we remember. I remember him from very early time, and it's when I went to the March 94, 95, I think, maybe the second time I met Gurudev in Calcutta, and he gave a letter to, I think it was Vinod Prabhu at that time, I think.
We know.
He gave a letter, and so that was the first time, Navadvip, Gurudev was leaving for Puri, and then he sent me to Navadvip with my family. And so he said, take this letter to him, and then he will take care of you, and like that. And so, so that first time I met him, and he was like, remember him very active and dynamic and doing a lot of service and everything. First time, and then over the years, we met him many times. But yes, his dedication is the faith in his Guru, unflinching faith and dedication to the service of the Guru, and the mission is like, as he said, unparalleled. It's continuously carrying on, in spite of his health. He didn't talk about that very much, and especially in the parikrama, I noticed like he was continuously singing, when even though the time is hard when you're walking, but he was like, continuously through the parikrama, was leading the kirtan, and many hours through the the heat, and then he will again give some classes in the night in a few hours and kirtan, and then continue the next day. And then Sianaji was like, amazing. So the whole parikrama, I remember, very intense in his service, like, non-stop, non-stop he was going on, as he said, till the end. He was giving his energy, whole energy, to the service of Guru and the mission. Taking care of the devotees also is like very, very nicely, making arrangements for everybody's, comfort, and, prashadam, seva, and everything. Very nicely he plans, and so many services. He said at the time he was managing so many things, and it is so amazing. Yeah, we just pray for his grace, and we have some inspiration to carry on to to serve the Guru and the mission and everything. One thing I remember he was saying is like, in the Zoom, he gives the Zoom meetings every Sunday, and so I try to attend whenever I can, and so I remember he one time saying, we have to please the Guru, that is all. We have to make Guru happy, that is all we have to do. And one thing for me personally, it was helpful, is he said one time, is whether Guru Dev accepts our service or not, it is his matter. It is not our, it is his matter. He's just, you know, we have to make him happy. That is all we have to do. So that was really, you know, his mood was like that. And so very, you know, fortunate to come to know him and to see how he was serving the Guru. That was fortune. Yeah. Jai Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj ki jai.
Chai. Thank you, Subhasini Didi. Thank you. That was beautiful. And Ananda-rupa, would you like to share something? I know how much love you have for Srila Acharya Maharaj. Ananda-rupa? Okay, maybe she's stepped away as well. Okay. Well, we did have some. I did have some questions that came in. There's one very nice question from Jayadev Prabhu. And the question was, and this is, you know, this is somewhat of a higher topic, but it is not, you know, it is not beyond the, you know, the jurisdiction of what, you know, we, you know, what's not safe, you know, to discuss. And, you know, we're, you know, the way our gurus have trained us is that we're very cautious in how we approach the higher subject matters. And by that, I mean the more intimate nature of Krishna's divine play and his divine abode of Vrindavan. You know, we're cautious in how we approach these things because we don't want to turn Krishna into a cartoon figure. We don't want to turn him into a figure of our mental system. You know, we don't want to intellectualize either. We don't want to materialize either, you know, because the nature of Krishna Lila, it is a prakrita, and a prakrita means what appears to be mundane but is not mundane. You know, the nature of, you know, the you know, divinity, the absolute, appears in different ways, has different manifestations. And, you know, one manifestation is more of the adhokshaja nature, you know, very impressive, very awe-inspiring. That is one expression of divinity. But we consider the aprakrita expression, the human-like expression of divinity, to be actually the highest and the most original. But because it appears to be human-like, because it parallels the nature of you know, human existence and human activity, then it's easy to misunderstand it and to see it as something material and ordinary. So therefore, we are cautious in any subjects pertaining to this. At the same time, you know, as our Gurudev mentioned once, we need to get some idea sometimes. We need to remember sometimes, you know, where is it that our gurus are taking us? You know, what is the goal of this line? So it is not inappropriate to have some, you know, discussion about that in a cautious way. And so Jayadev Prabhu's question, it was pertaining to different relationships that Krishna has with his devotees. And the five principal relationships are Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhur. Shanta refers to a passive relationship, you know, referring to, you know, plant life, animals, you know, rivers, etc., etc. And then Dasya refers to a relationship of servitude. Sakya, more intimate relationship of friendship. Vatsalya refers to someone who has the mood of a guardian over Krishna. You know, that their love is so intense that they think they have to take care of Krishna. that Krishna can't manage without them. And then the highest is Madhura Ras, and Madhur literally means sweetness, and it refers to the conjugal relationship. So the relationship Krishna has with his, with his girlfriends, and each of these relationships, they contain all of the characteristics of the previous one. So I mean, like Dasya Ras has unique characteristics of Dasya Ras, but it also contains characteristics of Shanta Ras. And then Sakya Ras has its own unique characteristics, but also has the characteristics of the previous rasas of Dasya and Shanta. So Madhura Ras, in one sense, it is the most complete. Not in one sense, in all senses, it's the most. But one way we can understand it, its position is that it is the most complete because it contains all of the characteristics of all the other rasas. I mean, in a parallel way, we can say in this world, someone who has the relationship of a lover, they play every role, in their relationship. So it is the most complete relationship with Krishna. And then so there are different lineages which focus more on different relationships with Krishna. There are some, like there's one lineage, they particularly worship Bala Krishna, baby Krishna. So that's one particular mood. But in our line is holds as, although it's not something we talk about every day, as we said, our gurus hold as their ideal the relationship of Madhura Ras, of the conjugal relationship. So that's something that we consider to be worshipable to us. It's not anything that is relevant to our current practice at present, but it is the final ideal and goal of the members of this line. We understand that, and we also at the same time understand that we're like babies in diapers at present. Just to keep some perspective. There are many persons who kind of dive in the deep end and go astray with all of that, and it's enter into imitation and all kinds of crazy and unsavory things can happen as a result of that. But anyhow, so if I recall correctly, Jayadevu's question was, what was it? It's that, what about persons who, does our line accommodate persons who don't have affinity for Madhura Ras? Was your question along those lines?
Kind of. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. So if the Swarup of the Jiva is inherent and has also an inherent primary rasa, I would assume that it's oriented towards, for example, like a Swarup that's in Sakya Rasa or a Swarup that's in Vatsalya Rasa camp, right? The Swarup of the Jiva is also oriented towards some sort of original camp, I would assume. I'm not sure. Again, I don't usually study these things. It was just a question that came up in topics about that. So I guess it's like a two-level question. If one has a Swarup, it's inherent, right? So the camp you're going to is inherent. It's not relative to the line you're in, or your eternal service position is inherent, I think. Is that correct, first off?
I mean, I don't think I can give you a direct answer, but I can share some things I've heard which are surrounding this. And and you can come to your own conclusions. First of all, I can mention that one thing we've heard from Srila Maharaj is that normally we hear that the Brahma Jyoti is comprised of the Brahma Jyoti is Krishna's effulgence, right? And that is made up of so many individual jiva souls, right? So you could say from that perspective, we're all part of Krishna's effulgence, right? However, Srila Maharaj has mentioned that actually it's not only Krishna, but other members of Goloka, they also have an effulgence. And that's, reaching beyond Goloka, and that jivas may be a part of that, So Radharani has her own effulgence. A jiva may be a part of that. So does that predetermine which rasa a jiva is going to? That's an open-ended question, but it kind of leads you to that thinking. But if I'm speaking more like kind of like in a practical way in regards to your question, see, Madhura Rasa accommodates everything. So, Srila Maharaj in one place he mentions like a Sakya Rasa guru with a Madhura Rasa disciple, that's a problem, right? But if it's the other way around, it's not a problem. If the guru is Madhura Rasa, then he can accommodate a disciple whose affinity is for another rasa, because Madhura Rasa is encompassing everything. So that's one point. Another thing, this is another, as I said at the beginning, I can't directly answer your question, but I can share things I've heard surrounding it. Then another thing I heard from Srila Maharaj is he mentioned how Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj, he had some affinity for Sakya Ras, right? You're familiar with Krishnadas Babaji, right? There are some very extraordinary kirtan recordings.
Absolutely amazing soul, real Babaji. And then he also said the same about Srila Swami Maharaj too. Specifically, I just heard in a talk.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And Gurudev also mentioned about Srila Swami Maharaj, that it's possible to have some mixture of rasas. So he said about Swami Maharaj, there was some mood of Madhura Ras and also mood of Sakya Ras there.
It would make sense if he's Shaktivesh avatar of Nityananda that he would have a position in both realms in some way. Yeah.
Right. So then what Srila Maharaj said about, and this is his angle, and he's in a position to say this, is he mentioned how Krishnadas Babaji had some affinity to Sakya Ras, the mood of friendship, and then he commented something like some diversion upon the path, like that was how he saw it, because Krishnadas Babaji he came to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who was exclusively Madhura Ras, but then he had some attraction to Sakya Ras, and Srila Maharaj described that as a diversion on the path, So I if I say anything more than that, I feel like I'll make offense. But these are some of the things that we've heard. But at least in a practical sense, I can say what I said earlier, that the Madhura Rasa guru can accommodate everyone. But there may be a point where that disciple moves away in another direction. It could be like that. And things are also dynamic in even in the spiritual world, there's that story of Shamananda Prabhu, who he's initiated by I believe a Sakya Ras guru, right? And then he has some encounter with the camp of Srimati Radharani, and he goes into that group. And we also hear there's a composition written by Srila Rupa Goswami, which you're familiar with, I'm sure, about Lalita Devi, Lalita Saki, which is describing how she's sometimes going out into the streets of Vrindavan and canvassing, canvassing for the group of Srimati Radharani. So, it's also dynamic even there, for those who have already reached that plane, it's there's still possibility there for some movement, some progression. So yeah, I mean, that's everything that comes to mind. I hope that's helpful in some way.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Varun is saying, wait, it popped up here on the phone. Oh, I don't know where to see the comments here. Varun, could you say your question out loud? I don't know where to see the questions here.
Oh, yeah. So along the same lines, should we only read or hear about Madhura Rasa if this is our desired destination?
Not, I mean, as I said, we're like in diapers at present. So it's not, it's not really a relevant question.
Okay.
No, at present, we're just trying to, I mean, there may be a point, as Srila Maharaj mentioned, we shouldn't be atheistic, it's not, we shouldn't completely dismiss the possibility that will become a relevant thing, a relevant question. It's certainly possible, but not at present. And also it's something that will be something irresistible, it will be something natural, automatic, irresistible if we need to read those things at all. We are really very much in a baby stage. We're not in a position to, make decisions about these kinds of things. At the moment, we're going through a process of purification, and there's many stages we have to go through before that could remotely be a question. Yeah. There's something else I wanted to say. Can't think. But yeah, I mean, we don't read those things in any case, those books at any case at present. So yeah, we are following a Madhura Rasa guru, and that's our relationship to Madhura Rasa at present. We're following the Raga Marg gurus, and that's our Raga Marg consists of that at present.
Okay.
And we simply have to have faith that they'll take us where we need to go. They have, through a relationship with them, all possibility is there, for example, I don't know if you're familiar with Brihad Bhagavatamritam, but one part of, and it's a very helpful book to read, you may want to look into that, but one section of that, it's describing how one devotee he moves forward in a very systematic way from one plane of existence to another plane. So he moves through all the different levels, all the different planes within the material sphere. And then when he reaches the spiritual sphere, there's also many different zones, and he moves forward in a step-by-step way through each zone, So, like in the material zone, he moves through there's 7 upper planetary systems. So he moves through each of these, culminating in Satyaloka, the abode of Lord Brahma, the creator. Then he passes through the Brahma Jyoti, then he passes through Shiva Loka, Vaikuntha, and then, finally reaches Vrindavan, first going through Mathura and then Goloka Vrindavan. And somebody asked our Gurudev once, does every soul have to go through this type of journey as they progress? And our Gurudev said no. He said if someone has taken shelter in the Rupanuga Sampradaya, it's like getting on an elevator. You get in at one point and you bypass so many levels and then you reach your destination. So he said, if someone's taking shelter of the Rupanuga Sampradaya, then that possibility is there. So our focus is on trying to faithfully serve the Sadguru, the genuine Guru, and through that everything will come. And one thing our Gurudev would say often, is that everything will reveal in your heart. Everything will be revealed through a service connection, through the mood of dedication. Everything will naturally be revealed. So we don't have to, like artificially, arbitrarily decide, what we have to do, what we have to read, or what's going to happen next for my continued progress. These higher things, they will naturally come to us, and when we're ready for that, we won't be able to stop it. It will be irresistible, as I said. So yeah, I hope that makes sense for everyone.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, because I just I just focus on chanting and watching videos and reading. But then, yeah, like I don't know, I don't really know what's going on a lot of times. So I just focus on the chanting to just keep purifying. So yeah, it simplifies things.
Yeah, there's one verse by Jagadananda Pandit, Sadhu, what is it? Sadhu Sangha Krishna Nam, A Macha Chai. Sadhu Sangha, association with the devotees, and Krishna Nam. These are the only 2 things that I want. And then samsara janitayar konvashtunai. And there's no other way to overcome material existence. So yes, I mean, you're living a perfect life, taking association when you can through the the virtual worlds, and continuing with Harinam. So yes, continue.
Thank you.
We have Praneshri Didi just joined us. Dandavat Didi. We're very happy to have you with us.
Yeah.
We're having some remembrance earlier of Srila Acharya Maharaj. Would you like to share something with our group here?
I can only say that his energetic personality, that is what we have to remember, and try to be inspired with that energy to do our seva. We cannot stop the seva. We have to continue and continue and continue. Actually, Avadur Maharaj is in Eka Chakra now, and he was broadcasting the Samadhi. And it is touching. It's touching because I remember when it was broadcasted for Srila Gurudev. And I remember that at the beginning, I was not very, very attached or fond to Srila Acharya Dev. And when I saw him crying for my Gurudev, at that moment, I felt he loves my Gurudev. So I need to offer respect and obeisances here. So today it was those memories from 2010 And I understood that we have to continue, and we just have to give. We just have to continue giving. We have Srila Guru Maharaj, we have Srila Govinda Maharaj, and Srila Acharya Dev was a great example, a very, very dynamic, sometimes with a very strong character, but that's part of the personality. That's everything I have to say. I cannot say anymore.
Thank you very much, Vaneshri Didi. We're grateful to hear your heartfelt appreciation. Mhm. Okay. And actually, this is Paneshri's first time that she's joining our Monday Zoom. I know she's usually busy, so we're honored to have you with us.
I canceled the class and I was rushing to come to you, but then I was intercepted with this video and I said, oh, I need to be in Ekachakra. So I offered obeisances there first and I came to you. Thank you. Thank you.
And if anybody wants to see that, it's on Avadut Maharaj's Instagram.
In the Instagram.
And the video should be there for another 24 hours.
At least.
Yeah. So if any of you want to, of course, it's painful to look, but at the same time, it's helping some devotees to process what's happening. So if anyone wants to see it is there. And I wanted to mention about Praneshri Didi. She's a very long time devotee of Mahaprabhu, Krishna or Guru Varga. I think she must have joined in the early 80s, right?
Yes. Yes. It was before. The first time I went to India was in 1984. And there I met Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Govinda Maharaj. And the relationship that they had, it was so sweet and so beautiful that I was captured. I was with another group. I was initiated with a different name, but my heart was there. And when I came back in 1985, it was when Srila Guru Maharaj decided to give him the reins of the mission because he was retiring, and he took sannyas, and he captivated my heart, and I was initiated, and I was with the group, and my heart was there. And when I returned to Venezuela, I said, no, I belong there. I belong there. So I separated from the group and patiently waited until he came to Caracas and he gave initiation, and he also gave initiation to my two children.
Okay. And I always remember you shared once a very special moment that you witnessed with Gurudev when he was just before his sannyas ceremony, and he was, do you remember, will you tell us that story? It's a very beautiful story.
I cannot forget it. I cannot forget it. We were in the Nat Mandir. Everyone was sitting down, chanting japas, and Srila Govinda Maharaj, he was pacing up and down, up and down. And then suddenly I saw that he hung his japas on a little nail on the wall. And I didn't stand, but I was just following him. And he went out, and it was in that area just behind the Tulsi, this Tulsi, exactly that Tulsi behind me, that area where you fill the buckets with water. The faucet was damaged and started spilling, and he just left his ceremonial preparation just to fix that. We couldn't waste water in the mat, and he was there fixing it. That captivated my heart. It showed me how we should be, so humble, so simple, so sweet. He was the guru of the universes for me, and he was fixing the water tap. That was so beautiful, Vishakha. So beautiful.
Right, thank you for sharing, Didi. And I see also that Mahamantra Prabhu has also joined us. Very happy. He's a very dear brother, and he's now living in Spain. He has a beautiful Vaishnava family, and he served for many years in India. And we'd love to invite you to share something, Prabhu. Share something about your reflections on Srila Acharya Maharaj. We'd all be benefited to hear that. Prabhu, are you still there? Yeah, you're there. Yeah.
Yes, Didi, I'm here, but I have been feeling very bad today. I have been feeling that like Srila Acharya Maharaj actually gave me a lot of things in my life, and he put me in connection with the devotees when I was like thinking that life was just about like getting some material things, and he connected me with the devotees at a moment in my life that was very important, and more than that, that I was able to appreciate Srila Govinda Maharaj very much. I took initiation when I was very small, but things that he came with such a powerful message. He came like saying to everyone that we have like responsibility with the mission of Srila Govinda Maharaj, and he wants to take everyone to India. He was inviting everyone so much to India, and I saw so much like energy always from him, coming from him, and from that energy, I was able to get to associate with the devotees and get to hear about the glorious and wonderful pastimes of Srila Govinda Maharaj and Srila Guru Maharaj, and the teachings they came to share with everyone. And if it was not for Srila Acharya Maharaj, I will not get the association of yourself, Vishakha Devi, of Acharya Maharaj. I am appreciating everyone so much, and my Dandavat to all.
Jai Mahamantra Prabhu ki jai. Yeah, Mahamantra is really like a brother. We served together in Navadvip for a number of years, and very beautiful servitor, very beautiful devotee. And Mahamantra was always ready to do anything and everything. Mahamantra was like Suicide Squad in the temple. And you know, his faith is very strong, and he's continuing with that now. And I remember, Prabhu, you told me before how Acharya, you know, Mahamantra is actually the son of Praneshwari, who's also joined us. They're in different continents right now. But so Mahamantra was actually born in a devotee family, but I remember he told me how he was distracted. And then it was Acharya Maharaj's visit to India. In when was it, like 2008 or something like that, that really deeply inspired him. And then Mahamantra ended up coming to India and was, you know, gave up everything. And Mahamantra is actually very brilliant devotee. He's an award-winning photographer. He's won an award with National Geographic. So, you know, he's a very talented person, and he left a lot of prospects behind to come and serve in India. And he also was a great, of great help to Srila Acharya Maharaj. And so, you know, I saw they had a special relationship. We're happy you could join us today, Prabhu. Okay, well, Ananda Rupa, are you there? Are you back? It would be nice to hear something from her, but I think she's hiding or disappeared.
Did Braja Mohini speak as well?
Raja Mohini, she didn't want to, she evaded. But maybe now, do you want to say something now, Raja Mohini?
It seems all very shocking and very much sobering situation to be in this day, experiencing this day and this time. I think that just there's many, I guess what I noticed in the classes that he was giving on Sundays, and unfortunately I was not joining them regularly, but I was once in a while joining, and these last couple of weeks I got a chance to join, but just how affectionate and caring he seemed like he was becoming more and more that way. I mean, not that he wasn't that way before, but maybe I was just noticing more and more. And in these Zoom meetings, he was always asking about every single person and looking very carefully at every person who was on the class. And there was like 200 people or more than 200 sometimes. And he was looking and asking each person, how are you? And checking and asking about family members. And last time he asked me about maybe 5 or 6 or 7 devotees. How is this devotee? How is that devotee? Like devotees that I hadn't even thought of in so long. And he was remembering them and asking about them and how are they and how is their children. And so that kind of care and affection, we were fortunate to receive, and how much example of that full energy in service to Gurudev and to Gauranga, full 24-hour a day, 500% serving in a capacity that you couldn't even believe, actually. And just different little instances of how much energy and being on Parikrama with him in Vrindavan one year, and the devotees and they'd have the bicycle cart with the whole sound system, and he would be walking with the cart on Parikrama, and we would be running, trying to keep up. And for the whole day, just that kind of thing, where when you think afterwards, you're thinking like, how is that even possible? Like, how did that even happen? Like, you can't even imagine. And then not even stopping, and how much care and how many things that he did for the devotees, and all the guest houses, when we went and had the opportunity to go and be in Navadip Dham or in Calcutta or in Ekachakra, in these guest houses. Like, he managed all of the details, all of the building, all of the politics and money and everything to have those facilities built for the devotees for the pleasure of Gurudev. And he did all that with his devotion, his devotional power. And a few years ago, the year that I went, that we were still able to visit Navadip, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Ma, and he was there. And one morning, he was going out and I was walking by, and he asked if I wanted to go, and I said, okay. And I got in the car, and I didn't know where we were going, but we went to, after just driving for some time, then we arrived in Bamanpara, Srila Gurudev's appearance place. And we stayed there for just not very long. He was going to see the devotee, visit the few devotees that were staying there. And I had the, they gave me prasadam, and then it was a very short visit, but very beautiful. And then on the way back, we went a back way. We didn't go back the regular way. We went a back roadway that comes out sort of near Hapania Dam. I don't know if it was in Hapania or near Hapania, but it was a back road, and every few minutes, somebody walking by, we would stop and ask the driver, he would ask if that was the way, and we would go in this back village, backfield road way back to the Mott. But on the way back, then we stopped at a vegetable market, and Srila Acharya Dev was picking out vegetables and bargaining with the sellers and looking and picking out the nice vegetables for the devotees. And it was just another beautiful, amazing example of how he was involved in every single detail for the for the service of the devotees. And anyway, those are just a few things that I've been remembering, and just how much more we have to think about and try to learn and everything. But Dandavat, devotees, Dandavat, Vishakha.
Mohini Didi, thank you so much. That was very beautifully expressed, and especially for those who didn't know Acharya Maharaj, I think you gave a very nice description of him. Okay, well, it's a time to be united. It's a time for greater solidarity. So I'm glad, we've been able to meet today, and actually today I'm pretty exhausted because I've had so many phone calls today, and Chinmoy asked me, are you up for doing the meeting? And I said, I'm pretty exhausted, but I think it's really important that we meet. So yeah, I mean, it's a time to be united. And I'm happy we could meet now and have some remembrance. And there's been a few meetings already, as we said, and throughout the week, no doubt there will be more. I remember when Gurudev left, the thing that made it possible for me to survive was that we had meeting, we had class, we had meeting after meeting. We were in Navadvip, and it was all very mystical, because almost all of our world leaders happened to be there at that time. Everyone kind of extended their stay in India after Gaur Purnima. So we had all of our leading members there, and the day after we had three different gatherings, and the day after again. And that was what gave some solace to my heart, and made it possible to survive. So also in this situation, I think this will help our community to process and move on, with continued, determination to uphold the desires of our Guru Varga. Okay, well, also for those of you who don't really know, I know a few of you here are very new and not familiar with any of this. So I'm sorry today may have been a little bewildering, but please keep tuning in. Normally we're speaking more generally and taking questions, and today's just what it is. Okay, well, my gratitude to all of you for coming today, and hopefully we can meet again next week. Jai Shri Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. All the assembled devotees and sincere seekers ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande.